I know something about you, even not knowing you, that you've got greatness within you. You have the ability to do things that you can't even begin to imagine. You have talents and skills in you that you haven't even begun to reach for yet. The ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the ideas, the dreams, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never acted on those ideas, you never pursued that dream, you never used those talents, we never saw your leadership, you never used your voice, you never wrote that book, and there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you and only you could have given us life, and now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what ideas, what dreams, what abilities, what talents, what gifts will die with you? Maybe that's why Jim Rohn said, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death only to realize that you've never lived, only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. If you want to make your dream become reality, the people that are running at their dreams know that it's possible that you can live your dream, that it's necessary, that you're relentless, that you have a plan of action, that you are creative. See, there are two types of relationships. There are nourishing relationships and toxic relationships. Nourishing relationships, they nourish you, they bring the best out of you, they challenge you, they hold you accountable, they keep you focused, they bring the best out of you. Toxic relationships, they drain you. There are some people that you will never be able to get into business with. Why? Because they know too much about you. And they can't forget that. They can't shake that. You've got to look at your relationships, and Jim Rohn said this. Look at the people in your life and ask this question. What is this relationship doing to me? What is it doing to me? Am I growing spiritually, mentally, financially, intellectually? What is it doing to me? If you're a young person, does it put you on the honor roll or get you on the detention list? What is it doing to you? There's a new term in psychiatry called relational illness. There's some people that can make you sick. Well, can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. And there's some people that are so negative they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. The people that are running after their dream know they're going to have hard times. They keep on running because they're saying within themselves, I'm the one, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. The people that are running after their dreams are the people that are hungry. Most people never achieve their goals because they don't know that they don't know and they think they know. Most people are just like Zig, who's I consider the #1 motivational speaker on the planet. He said that most people like the lumberjack whose wood production dropped by 40% because he wouldn't take the time to sharpen his axe. Those of you that are here for the first time, if you want to come back again, I can tell you the veterans who are here and been coming for 40 years or more, those are individuals who spend time working on themselves, developing themselves, expanding their minds. They know, as a man thinketh, so is he. They know in order to have the things tomorrow that others won't have, you've got to be willing to do the things today others won't do, like work on your mind. And with that kind of courage, with that kind of affirmation and reason to empower me, I got a saying that when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. All right? I told Mr. Washington I wanted to become a disc jockey. Someone asked me to tell this story. And he said, Les Brown, he said, if you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be hungry. And so I started working to develop myself. He said, I want you to practice every day being a disc jockey. I said, but I don't have any job now. He said, it doesn't matter. He said that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So every day I was working to develop myself. And that's what you must do. And as I was working to develop myself, I applied for a job as a disc jockey, WMBM on Miami Beach. I went to a guy named Milton Butterball. I said, how you doing, Mr. Butterball? I'd like to get a job as a disc jockey. He looked at me, he said, do you have any broadcast background? I said, no, sir, I don't. Do you have any journalism background? I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, we don't have any jobs available. I said, yes, sir. I went back to Mr. Washington and I told him. He said, don't take it personally. He said, most people are so negative, they will have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, go back again. So I went back again. I said, how you doing, Mr. Butterball? My name is Les Brown. He said, I know what your name is. What do you want? I said, I'd like to know whether or not you have any jobs as a disc jockey, sir. He said, didn't I just tell you yesterday we didn't have any jobs? I said, yes, sir, but I know whether or not somebody got laid off or somebody was fired, sir. He said, no one was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day. Hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He said, fine, what do you want now? I said, I'd like to know whether or not you got any jobs, sir. Didn't I tell you the last 2 days we didn't have any jobs? I said, yes, sir, but I don't know whether or not somebody got sick or somebody died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. Now don't come back here and throw me out again. I came back the next day like I was seeing you for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. And I went to get him some coffee. After a while, I would give their lunch and dinner, and I would go in the control rooms and take the disc jockeys their food, and I would not leave until they would ask me to leave. Then they started trusting me to pick up entertainers that came to town. Entertainers like the Four Tops and the Temptations and Diana Ross and the Supremes. I would drive them all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys' big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving like I had some. And one day, one Saturday afternoon, while I was at the radio station, a guy named Rock was drinking while he was on the air. I was the only one there, looking at him through the control room windows, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, Rock, drink. Drink, Rock. I'd have gone to get him some more if he'd asked me to. Pretty soon the phone rang, and it was the general manager. And I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, Les, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all turn up the radio and come out on the front porch. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes, and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, do you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get behind those controls. I put on an old Stevie Wonder record called Fingertips. I sat down behind that turntable. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. I was hungry. You got to be hungry.
He talked about having personal growth before you can attain professional achievement. And when he said better selling begins with a better you, that put the focus on the kinds of things that I can do myself in taking charge of my life. And when I do that, everything else falls in place.
Les has the ability to inspire people to pursue their passion, to live their dreams. And whether they're in sales or personnel or whether they're just a machine operator, it's very, very important that you have some passion for what you're doing. And Les inspires people to have that passion.